The betrayal mission has failed. Yep, this is the worst case scenario that happens in Chapter 18. Previously, we discussed Koji's statement about how the success rate of this mission wasn't too high. That's right. Even though it wasn't very high, we can't conclude that it's a total failure. But what's still a concern here is Boruto's position. How will he hold himself back and stay in hiding while Sarada is on a dangerous mission, having to fight Ryu? I won't talk about Konohamaru and the others right now. We should focus on Sarada. Essentially, before Sasuke became a tree, he left Boruto one message and request: to protect Sarada. It's true that this is a tough choice. Boruto has to decide what his priority will be, protecting Sarada and ignoring Koji's words, even if it means risking his life by going to the battlefield, or staying hidden. This is an incredibly difficult situation for Boruto to figure out. But if we remember the promise of a ninja that Boruto once made, and the fact that he was Sasuke's student, it's pretty much impossible for Boruto to fully obey Koji's instructions. Moreover, we know that Boruto has deliberately placed the toad in the desert, where Ryu and Matsui are. But with this fact, I can't say that this is part of Koji's plan or Boruto himself, because basically the toad is just a tool that Boruto uses to teleport. If Boruto deliberately put the toad in the desert, it means that Koji had previously told Boruto that Sarada and Team 7 would go to the Land of Winds to carry out a mission to defeat Ryu and Matsui. And most likely, if the toad was not part of Koji's plan, it means that Boruto's initiative deliberately placed the toad in case of an emergency, and Sarada needed help. Because basically, Ada here will be free to see in real time what is happening in the desert as long as Mamushi is not there. With the percentage of success not being high, it is likely that Boruto will ignore his life, as Koji said, in favor of Sarada in a safe situation. And in terms of the main point about the failed betrayal mission, I assume that Ryu and Matsui will have the same connection through their respective Rinnegan eyes. Somehow, I can say this because it is inspired by the Naruto universe of Pain. Despite the fact that it is true that Pain is a corpse controlled by Nagato, is it impossible to assume that the Rinnegan eyes possessed by this divine tree human have the same connection as Pain's members? Every time one of them experiences a spontaneous or even blind attack, each of them will be connected to each other so that the attack can be evaded. The fighting mechanism that Pain has, because their eyes are connected to each other, is a big problem that Jiraiya faces. Although Jiraiya dies in the end, this is not the main point. Every Pain member is connected to each other because of their Rinnegan eyes. And in comparison to divine tree humans, they are also the same source. That is true if every divine tree human is a manifestation of the life chakra of different people. However, every divine tree human is created because of one common chakra. Before they become trees, the Tsumeaka created by Code through a mixture of iron from his blood causes every human bitten by the Tsumeaka to turn into a tree. Ryu and Matsuri are currently in Koji's scenario where they are separated from each other. Will the betrayal be revealed if one of them is attacked by one of the Konoha or Suna ninja? For example, if Ryu is the first plan that Koji said, if Ryu is the most ideal enemy to be defeated first, then after that join Konohamaru and Matsuri, what ability in one attack will be able to destroy Ryu and get his Togadama? I'm trying to make an analogy if this fails and Ryu manages to return to the Shinju dimension to regenerate his wounds or not at all. That is, at the same time Ryu is the first target to be executed by Sarada and the team. Do you believe that Matsuri will know and be able to see it? Actually, there are two possibilities if this betrayal mission will fail. And also, maybe this is the reason why Koji said if the percentage of success of this mission is not too high. First, as I said before, it was their failure because of the Rinnegan eye between Ryu and Matsuri that was connected. And again, this is just an analysis based on the ability of Pain in the Naruto universe. And the second is because of the tree. Yep, you heard it right. I don't know how to say this. Matsuri has a tree partner in every desert, or you can also say that Matsuri has a connection between trees on the ground. If Koji says that the success of this mission is not too high, it means that Jippo's ability is not fully able to know how the ability of each Shinju, right? And of course, if Koji cannot predict how the mechanism of each divine tree human's ability, of course this strategy can be said to be 50% to achieve their success in defeating Ryu and Matsuri. It's not impossible if the tree that previously told Matsuri if the toad was Boruto who deliberately put it there. The tree is also able to provide information if Ryu is in danger, saying every tree exists anywhere. It is possible that the tree on the ground knows everything. Even as a colleague created from trees, every information will be known easily by Matsuri. But the problem is how to defeat Ryu in a single strike. If they ultimately manage to defeat Ryu and obtain the Togodama, it doesn't matter if Matsuri finds out. However, if the attack doesn't completely defeat Ryu, this will become the real problem. But underneath it all, did you expect that in Chapter 18 there would be another intervention from some divine tree people like Mamushi or Hidari? I can't say Jura would have come to the battlefield if Boruto hadn't been there. But of course, this could also be a possibility if Boruto had pushed himself and ignored Koji's words to save Sarada. Is it still relevant to rely on Kawaki in this scenario? It's true that Kawaki has decided to destroy the divine tree humans and the Otsutsuki faction. But how will Kawaki unlock his true power first? And in this situation, will Amado comply with Kawaki's wishes? Actually, Amado could just control Kawaki and ignore his demands. After all, Kawaki is partially a cyborg. Amado has a system that allows him to control Kawaki, even shutting him down completely. But the question is, if Kawaki does unlock his true power, will he head to Suna and help them defeat Ryu or Matsuri? Although this sounds hard to believe, it's still a possibility if Kawaki really intends to destroy them from the ground up first, meaning he doesn't directly attack and defeat Jura, right? But if this scenario turns out to be unexpected, with Jura currently in Konoha, Kawaki might act recklessly and ignore Shikamaru to defeat Jura. However, for this case, I can't guarantee if it will prove to be true. And the final conclusion. Between Ryu and Matsuri, do you guys agree with me that their Rinnegan eyes are interconnected like Pain's members? And do you agree that the failure of this betrayal mission could be due to interference from another party? Or maybe the tree on the ground informs Matsuri that Ryu is in trouble? I'd love to hear your opinions, guys. Thanks to everyone who's liked and subscribed. I'm Nim. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye, Databayo.